why did God call John the Baptist? Let's read a few verses that tell us the reason why God raised him up. John chapter 1 and verse 23. John 1, 23. He said, this is John the Baptist speaking, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, as the prophet Isaiah said. In other words, he arose in harmony with the fulfillment of a prophecy of Isaiah. And it says that he was called to prepare the way of the Lord. In other words, he was the forerunner of the Messiah to prepare the way for the coming of the Messiah. Notice Matthew chapter 3 and verses 1 to 3. Matthew 3 verses 1 to 3. In those days, John the Baptist came preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That means the Messiah is about to come, because the Jews were expecting the coming of the kingdom. Verse 3, for this is he, speaking about John the Baptist, this is he who was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. Now what does that mean, make his paths straight? Well, in antiquity, when a king was about to arrive, there was a group of individuals who would be sent on the highways and on the roads to make sure that they would remove all of the stones, they would fill in all of the holes, so that the king's chariot could come on the road easily and smoothly. So that's what this means. Prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. In other words, prepare the way for the coming of the Messiah. Notice Luke chapter 1, verses 16 and 17. Luke 1, 16 and 17. Speaking about John the Baptist, this is before his birth. And he will turn many of the children of Israel to the Lord their God. Isn't that interesting that he would turn the children of Israel to their God? That must mean that they went astray from their God, right? And notice that his mission is not with the world. His mission is with the church. His mission is with those who claim to serve God. And so it says, and he will turn many of the children of Israel to the Lord their God. He will also go before him. That is, John the Baptist would go before the Messiah in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. And notice, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just. In other words, to turn around the disobedient so that they would follow the wisdom of the just. And notice the ultimate purpose, to make what? Ready a people prepared for the Lord. What was the role of John the Baptist? It was to prepare a people to receive the Messiah who was about to come, so that they would be ready to receive the kingdom. By the way, do you know that John the Baptist was not an innovator? He did not bring new truth, and we're going to look at this in a few moments more extensively. He actually was a great restorer. Notice what we find in Matthew chapter 17 and verses 11 through 13. Matthew 17, 11 to 13. John the Baptist was not raised up to bring revolutionary new truths, new doctrines. He was brought to restore that which had been torn down. And by the way, that's why the New Testament calls him Elijah. You remember in the Old Testament what Elijah did when he went to the top of Mount Carmel? It says that he took the stones of the altar of the Lord that were laying all over the place, and he rebuilt, or he restored the altar of the Lord. In other words, he restored true worship to God.